Everybody, Professor Doom here. I want to share with you guys a theory, and I want to show you some of the latest overt actions when it comes to the elites out there and their move for your children. You guys remember this document from the FBI dated from 2007? If you take a look at the triangular shape right there, the pedophile symbolism that they noted, and I want to show you this. Here is some symbolism on the latest release of the Huggies diapers, and if you look right down there on the very bottom where the arrow is pointing and the arrow up towards the middle there, and you will see the overt symbolism when it comes to their preference. This triangular shape is a preference for little boys. Okay, so I have a theory for you that I'm going to share about the whole abortion situation that's going on right now. So I want to show with you, before I do that, I want to share with you the other overt symbolism that we got going on. This production from Disney, where here's what's interesting. They try to explain it away as that the children came out with the wrong letters in the wrong order, which does not sound logical, because if this wasn't a live production, and yet what do you have an editing room for? Don't you know what it's saying? You got a camera facing right to them. Don't you halt and go, okay, let's redo this again, take two, and come out with the right order? No, you're saying exactly what you wanted to say. And how do we know that this is true? How do we know that this is exactly what they got in mind? This is the world that we live in, folks. Take a look at the TV show A Childhood's End. What did we see with the overlords, Corellin, coming out and revealing himself to the public? And what was his request? I want two children to come and greet me as I come and reveal myself, just like you're seeing in this satanic imagery. That is the overt world that we live in right now. Now, here's my theory about the whole abortion thing. Now, this picture that you see before you is from the Kamloops boys' school in Canada. And I just want to remind you all of something. These are just locations of mass graves that have been found. Think about all of the mass graves that are still out there yet to be found. The story behind this is that the government forcibly removed boys from their parents to be put in boarding schools, and yet there's a mass grave of them. If you were just going to kill them, why didn't you just let them go back to their parents? Why did you forcibly remove them? Here is the Tuam, Ireland. I've already did a story on this. I don't want to harp on all of this too much, but I got to keep it fresh in your mind so you guys can understand the severity of the whole abortion issue that's going on right now before us. 800 grave of 800 skeletal remains. And here's the background story. A Catholic nun-run location was for unwed mothers to have their kids and to have a safe place to go. But yet somehow a mass grave with 800 children was found, and really there's no explanation for it. I mean, if you have 800 children that you don't know what to do with at a time like that, can you imagine the situation that we're going to have when so many children get overrun into the orphanage system, to the unwanted children system, and you are going to make it a whole ripe harvest for these elites to have all the kids they want, because you're going to have all of these unwanted kids that are being born, and they're going to be available for the taking. How do we know that that's true? Because of stories just like this. Children being taken by Larry King, not the TV personality, let me remind everybody, not him, but the black Republican who owned the Franklin Credit Union out of Nebraska. And somehow the Offutt Air Force Base was all tied into this. There were children being taken from boys' schools and orphanages by Mr. Larry King and been put into the sex trafficking and ritual murder. If this has been going, this is just one story. How many other stories out there that have yet to be uncovered have used missing and exploited children for their ritualistic murders, sexual trafficking? Do you remember we just talked about the whole Wayfair thing in the past couple of videos? This is what your new abortion laws are going to produce. You have overt symbolism going on by elite corporations, and you have a plethora of children out there that are going to be available to them when you have all of these kids that are going to reproduce and they're going to be unwanted. Just think about the laws that you have now in place. Yes, if you have a child that you don't want, you could drop it off, no questions asked. How many kids are going to be now being handed over with abortion laws in place that they are now, and you're going to have so many missing and exploited children, and you have all of these elites to thank for the situation that we find ourselves in? That's basically all I got to say on this subject, and thanks, everybody.